This is a 2026 Chevy Silverado 3500 LTZ dually. And for 2027, I can almost guarantee you there will be no changes. Now, I did borrow this truck from Garff Chevrolet here in American Fork. It is available for sale, big discounts online. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see all the options and features on this build. At the very top is the description, colors, and then here is a short listing of the standard features. Be sure to pause to see more. Now, base price comes in at $66,100. And then starting off the options is the diesel, and then LTZ plus package is $28.75. So bucket seats are an option. Ventilated seats too are an option. So I highly recommend this package, which comes a part of that safety package too when you get it. The wheels are an upgrade, which are great. Look for this truck. Technology package gives you that rear camera mirror and heads-up display. Fifth wheel prep package, why wouldn't you on a dually? LTZ convenient package number 2 is $1,050. A lot of nice features in there as well. Finishing up the options is a sunroof, chrome assist steps, multi-flex tailgate, and then upfitter switches. Now, destination for this truck is $27.95 for a total price of $88,675. I'm going to say something that's not popular, and that's okay. If Chevy were to keep this design for another 3 years, they would still sell a lot of trucks. Their pricing is in line. I would say that Chevy trucks are probably the best bargain, maybe tied with Ram, and that's saying a lot because Rams are very expensive, but they have big discounts. And Chevy trucks, I think, are priced just right? I just wish you can get some of the features that are available in the GMC Sierra, but I understand why you can't. However, the only thing that holds the Chevy back, and this is just an unpopular opinion, is these chrome bumpers, front and rear. I think that GM would benefit from a sport package, not just for the dually, but also for the single rear wheels, because the only way you can get like that sporty look on the Silverado HDs is if you get the Trail Boss package, because they no longer have the sport appearance that they had, I believe, back in 2024 and earlier trucks. So regardless of how you look at it, whenever I see trucks sitting in inventory, I always see chrome trucks. I never really see the monochromatic look or even the blackout. Blackout is still going strong, guys. Despite if you love it or hate it, it's still very popular. And at one point, chrome was very, very important to people too. And I think most guys wouldn't dare buy a truck without chrome, especially on a higher trim level. And painted bumpers were just not popular back in like those 80s and 90 time frames. So today, the times have changed. People want that more sportier off-road appearance. And I feel as though GM could do themselves some justice for 2027 if they added a sport package, not just for the dually, but also for the single rear wheel. Thoughts in the comment section. I mean, I know that some of you guys love your chrome, but when I see trucks in inventory, they're typically there for 100+ days with chrome bumpers. Trail Bosses obviously are going to sit more so because there's a lot more inventory, and someone might be looking for a specific color. So I can understand why some trucks might sit more than others. So with that being said, again, the front end, you have the premium lights that come standard, including the fog lights. Those front parking sensors are an option on this truck, so you have to opt for that. You have recovery hooks, and I would say that overall, GM did a really good job refreshing this truck. I really like the design of it. I think that they have the best looking pickup truck overall. Functional hood scoop. Let's get a little closer, that way you guys can see. You guys see that camera right here? That's an option on this truck too. No active grille shutters. That is available on the single rear wheels. I would like to get an opinion on why they don't do it for these trucks. It'd be interesting to see. Now on the side of the hood, you guys see says Allison transmission Duramax. So the divorce was canceled, if you may. Also, you still have that independent front suspension. You guys can see double wishbone, and you have torsion bars. Now here's something you're never going to hear on YouTube unless you hear it from me. If you want the AEV bumper, right? Let's just say you might want to get rid of the chrome and you just want to get the bumpers. If you do get them for this truck, you cannot use the skid plate that you have, basically, that finishes off the front end of this truck. And I thought that was kind of crazy. Like, I would think that it would work for all these trucks, but there's some differences on the front ends of the dualies compared to the single rear wheels. Now, here's a quick peek at the tread on these tires. And look at Chevy blessing you with Michelin Primacy XC tires. These aren't all terrain, so they have a little bit of aggression to them. These 18-inch wheels are an upgrade. I had these on my dually. You guys probably remember I had a blackout dually. It actually was an LTZ, and I just blacked it all out again because I wanted the painted bumper look. I could have just left it all chrome and just put some, you know, big tires and just left the wheels in this polished aluminum look. But I know people still like that blackout, and I think that truck looked absolute killer. So these are low range E tires. And you guys see the capacity of the tire, 3,195 pounds at 80 PSI cold. I will show you the yellow sticker and the camper package sticker for this truck, so stay tuned for that. Fabric liner, you guys can see the suspension better. You have a shock absorber right there. Now, if you want to lift this truck, McGaughy's does have a 4-inch lift kit that you can add, and you can still tow a fifth wheel if you lift it. Fixed running boards, you cannot get power, I believe, on this configuration. I could be wrong, but someone can correct me in the comment section. Engine block heater plug down below, and they have a good looking dually truck on the side profile. Smart key system does come standard on these trucks. You guys see you have your turn signals, and you have this light here if you're stationary, backup lights, blind spot alert, chrome on the lower part of the windows. And you never really see these trucks without clearance lights too, so that's the nice thing about the Chevys. They typically have that. Now, if you want to fix something else on this truck, let's go ahead and talk about it. At least a 48-gallon fuel tank to match Ford. I would say even if it was an option, it'd be nice, but 36 7-gallon. You have the steps built on to the side of the bed. There is a liner you can get with these trucks too. So if you bought this truck, you can have the dealership add that on as an accessory. And this is one thing I like about this truck. Now, you guys see it does have 4 leaves in the main pack, and they added an additional load leaf right here. So those are your overloads, bump stops right there. They're still using the wax coating on the frame. And then here's a quick view of those rear wheels. Very good design. And I like the aggressive styling of these tires too. Clearance lights are LED on the side, and then you have incandescent bulbs and LED in these tail lights. Out back, parking sensors. I believe these come standard on this truck. You can always go back to the window sticker. I always forget. I haven't done a video on this truck in so long that I forget these things. Class 5 hitch, and then you have your spare tire right there. 342 rear with a automatic locker, and here's just the rear profile of the truck. You have those steps built into the bumper, and this one has the multi-flex tailgate. You step on in, you have your 4 and 7 pin bed lights, fifth wheel prep. Now, if you want to check out my promo for the Juggernaut, you can get a better solution for tying things down the bed. Highly recommend it. This gives it a nice OEM look, and it gives you a strap system built into the bed. 400 watts of power right here. This power sliding glass is an option. Defrost, 2 camera views, one for that rear view mirror, one for bed view. You knew it was coming. I got to give you that side profile with the dually. Love this look. Now that I work on my own truck, I really notice just how tall it is. Like, I feel like my truck is like this much taller because of that 4-inch lift and the fact that I have 38-inch tall tires. Like, my truck is really tall. Now, with that being said, if you're not familiar with the Duramax engine, let me catch you up really quickly. For the 2017 model year, they did introduce the L5P Duramax. For the 2024 model year, they did do some revisions. So that Gen 1 L5P had 445 horsepower and 910 pound-feet of torque. This engine now puts out 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque. And you may not think that's a big jump, but it is, because you can really feel that power increase when you're towing up a steep grade in the mid-range. Like if you were going like 50 miles an hour and did wide open throttle with how much ever weight you have back there, you would actually notice a difference with that power gain. Now they did do some updates like the turbocharger, the combustion, and a few other things here to really get that power output. But overall, this engine does perform well. Now what's behind it is the stamped of approval Allison transmission. So it's not a true Allison, it's known as the 10L1000. You can find information on that online. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but 15W40 oil. This is the only diesel engine currently that uses a 15W40 at this time. And I would say that the Duramax is pretty reliable. Now, obviously, there's a lot of emissions equipment on this. They did add a sensor to like the CCV, which is the crankcase ventilation system, which I'm not a fan of. But overall, I would say that this is a great powertrain and drivetrain. Let's check out the interior. I would say nothing really stands out about the interior for the LTZ, but overall this is a really nice interior. Like, I would 100% be happy with this. You have the large screens. I like that they give you a little bit of storage above that screen. This one has the heads-up display, which was an option. Now on the roof, you guys can probably tell by the B-pillar, you do have a lighter colored roof. There is another interior color option for this truck. I believe it would actually get the roof to match the rest of the interior, but the stitching color does match the roof. That bothers you. You guys see 9-speaker Bose, and this does have the tow mode for the mirrors as well as power folding, as you just saw. Seat memories. Hopefully you guys saw all the nice trimming for this truck here. Out back, nice soft touch on the door. 60/40 bench, great storage below. I would upgrade my mats if I were buying this truck personally. These mats don't do the job. And right here, heated seats, USBs, air vents. Now those heated seats are an option, and I believe this is an option too. So you have to go through your option list and see what's on this truck if you are looking to build one, because I'm sure it's going to probably be pretty much the same for the 2027 model year. Let's check out the camper package information in the glove box. It's kind of hard to show it. Hopefully you guys can see the number there, but if not, I'll just call it out to you. If you're looking to get a bed camper, right, to haul, not tow, to haul, the capacity for this truck is 4,521 pounds of capacity. So this truck has big payload for a bed camper. Now I'll show you guys the yellow sticker here in a second, but I always show that because I've had people email me about that, and at some point I just start showing it on my videos. But you guys see on this side, great styling. You guys also see power seat. So this does have a 10-way seat, including lumbar support. It only goes in and out, however. Now right here is the auxiliary switches. I highly recommend this if you plan on running light bars and things like that. And maybe if you decide you want to get an off-road bumper, you could obviously use that for lights that you put on the truck too. So just keep that in mind. Now, you guys have seen so many videos of mine on these trucks. I'm not going to go through the screens on this video, but as I have mentioned in the past, the 13.4-inch display is probably one of my favorite, just simply because of how they lay it out. It's all customizable. This truck has the 360 camera, which I'll show you here in a second. And I hate all these menu things. Now some of these do go away when you buy your truck, but when it's in like dealer mode, as I call it, it does take some time. And right here, you guys see your cameras. So as I mentioned, this truck does have the 360 camera view. I'm going to close this door here. So you guys see, you can turn it off very easily and have a full screen. Also, you have these side cameras that shows the tires. So if you're looking to back this beast up, that would be very helpful if you're not used to dualies. Here's your bed view. If you didn't notice, it does turn on the bed lights back there too when you hit that view. But that doesn't really matter because some of you guys will get a bed cover, so you know it won't really matter. But you guys see that? You can remove things from this menu here, and just below that screen you have some of your buttons here. You can pause and see what they are. Dual climate control. The ventilated seats, as I said, was an option on this truck. Let's go ahead and check out the Payload capacity because my camera got really hot, guys, so I had to let it cool down here. But yeah, as I was saying, let's go ahead and check out the payload capacity because yes, I'm sure some of you guys like to see that number on this pickup. So starting off with the axles, 6,000 pound front axle, 10,400 pound rear axle, which is class leading, 14,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating, 18 by 6.5 wide wheels. And right here, payload is 5,271 pounds, 20,000 pound conventional, 31,000 gooseneck. And this truck weighs on the curb 8,729 pounds. Gross combined weight rating is 40,000 pounds. Big numbers. Hope you guys enjoyed this truck. As I said, it was available here at Ken Garff. You can text the number at the beginning of the video, which was Brady Ryan's. If you would like to purchase it, they can ship it to you, whatever you want. See you guys in the next video.